We would watch Cops and the first 48 hours, that crime show in there, and everybody would critique the criminals.
Oh, really?
So you don't say that.
That's so fucking funny.
Do you remember any specifics? I'm intensely interested.
Just it was this case of, a woman found burnt and shot in the trunk of her own car, and they just the details of the whole thing were ridiculous. Her friend had been on the phone with her and recorded the phone conversation, and we all hated that. Like, they're like,
snitch.
like so she could go to the cops the next day and be like, "This is the last time we talked from last night," and she plays a recording of them having a phone conversation. We're all like, "What the fuck is that fat bitch got her recorded for?" I was like, and I meant it. I was like, I don't want anybody fucking recording me on the phone. I don't like that. And all of them were like, "Fuck no, you ain't recording me on no damn phone."
I record you 5 hours a week.
Yeah, but I know about it. It's consensual. It's consensual. This is phone rape.
Yeah.
This is sneaky. And but every step of the way, the guy who
That's what they did to poor Mel Gibson.
That's true. That bitch tricked him.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin
all of us
too.
know Mel was innocent in all of that.
Say it. Say it. You want to say it.
Name 10 things he said that were out of line. Just 10.
Taylor, you know you're holding yourself back. You want to say it.
For the
Oh no, thank you. Yeah,
but
something about a hot tub.
The guy that had actually committed the murder, while he's in the interview room, he's like, "Can I take a picture in here?" And the cop's like, "Yeah, sure." He takes a selfie of himself in the interview room. The next day, they lock him up and give him 40 years.
At least he got a funny joke out of it.
I guess so. I hope it was worth it.
I guess he's guilty.
Oh, he was guilty. He had DNA.
He
tried to burn her and her car up, and he left his basketball shorts with his DNA in her car, and they didn't burn up. And on his Facebook is a picture of him wearing the fucking shorts.
It's there's cum all over your basketball shorts. Like, why?
If you're completely exhausted and you're being interviewed by the police and you fall asleep, does that imply you're guilty or innocent? I've seen it on a bunch of TV shows. Like, guilty people never fall asleep, or innocent people.
Guilty people never.
Like, who's?
It was one of those two.
I don't know which one. Should I try and sleep?
It's like you're trying to decide if she's a witch or not. Yeah. Well, if she weighs more than a Bible, she's a witch. I think it's if she weighs less in the Bible, sir. Well, she's probably a witch regardless. Don't care.
Very small rocks.
What else floats?
They wrote down things that. No, that's from the King. I watched this recently, probably I think a little before you went to prison, where like they're all like musing over the right answer, and then the King so loudly and proudly and wisely is like, "A duck." In the back of it. Oh,
Yes.
who is this then? Yes.
My lord is learned.
Yeah.
I love that
so
shit.
fucking
That's my favorite thing from them. I love the show too. Yeah, man. It's been an interesting couple months here. What do you got here?
This?
Do we change the definition of literally? Oh, I hope.
I just put it out there. I didn't know
It irks me.
Okay, so let me lay it out there. Is it ever okay to mean literally to mean figuratively, right? Now, everyone kind of knows at a high level that language changes and evolves. This is a way that literally should literally mean literally, according to me. But it turns out so many people have used literally to mean really.
Figuratively.
Right. But like in a sense, they say, like that thing was literally heavy. Or, that's not a good one. But, he was literally on fire is an example. That turns out
literally going to die if I don't get a cigarette.
Literally means figuratively now, too. In effect,
I hate
virtually.
It. There's a couple of little grammatical, like conversational faux pas that I have. One of them is when someone says, "Man, he could care less about us." All right, well, I think what you're trying to imply is that he cares very little for you. And so therefore you should have said he couldn't care less about me because he cares so little. The bar is as low as it can go. If you say he could care less, then you're not at the bottom of his caring level yet. You're still at least mid-level care.
Yes.
I hate it. I hate it when people do that.
Yeah, it should also, I guess, be I couldn't give a shit That I could.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could give a shit what he thinks. So you could give a shit.
Yeah. You.
Well, yeah, but just a shit. That's all. That's not. I don't think you understand how this idiom works. I don't think. Come on. Yeah, it's upsetting to me. Those are some of the little grammatical faux pas in conversation that bother me, and literally being used to mean figuratively is another one of them. There's a Key and Peele sketch about that. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
I have not.
It's so funny. He's interviewing the basketball player who just won the game. And he's like, kids, you can do anything. If you set your mind to it, you can do anything. Open the windows of your house, spread your wings, and you can fly to the moon. If you believe it enough, you can walk on the expressway and transform into a car. Literally. And the chorus is like, I think what you mean is figuratively. No, you can literally fly, kids. Children, 8 to 12 years old, get up out your beds, go to the window, jump and fly into the night, soar. And then it cuts, and now he's at one of those press conferences where he's like, they wear those ridiculous zoot suits and shit. He's sitting there, and he's like got his sunglasses on and his suit. He's like, oh, I would like to apologize to all of the families who were affected. All the children who lost their lives. I have now, since my interview, learned the definitions of both literally and figuratively, and grown to understand the difference between the two.